Now, the rest of our top stories, and US President Donald Trump has confirmed that the United States will leave the nuclear weapons treaty with Russia. The agreement was signed towards the end of the Cold War. It saw the banning of short and medium-range missiles. But President Trump says Russia has been violating the treaty for years, and ties between the two countries have been under strain over accusations that Moscow meddled in the 2016 presidential election. The two leaders are expected to meet in Paris next month for a First World War commemoration.
Russia has violated the agreement. They've been violating it for many years, and I don't know why President Obama didn't negotiate or pull out. And we're not going to let them violate a nuclear agreement and go out and do weapons, and we're not allowed to. We're the ones that have stayed in the agreement, and we've honored the agreement, but Russia has not, unfortunately, honored the agreement. So we're going to terminate the agreement.
Well, let's talk now to Peter Zalmayev, the director of the Eurasia Democracy Initiative in Kiev. Peter, what's the significance of the timing of this announcement?
Well, the significance of the timing, first of all, has to do with this relationship that the American president claims to have built with his Russian colleague. Donald Trump has claimed in the face of adversity in Washington that this, a relationship with Russia is necessary despite Russia's continued provocations. And it turns out that throughout his relations with Vladimir Putin, including his last summit in Helsinki, Donald Trump has not been able to negotiate a renewal of the nuclear forces treaty, which crisis now is being characterized as the most severe crisis in nuclear arms control since the 1980s. So this is clearly a failure of the diplomacy on both sides, but I think it also, kind of puts a lie to Donald Trump's claims that he can deal with strongmen like Vladimir Putin.
Domestically, this is rather useful timing for President Trump, is it not? He's in the run-up to midterm elections, and suddenly it makes him look the strong man, a position that perhaps he can't always have been claimed or portrayed as.
In fact, both sides in this standoff seem to have some benefits to derive from it. You said correctly that Donald Trump, on the eve of very important midterm elections in Congress, seeks to demonstrate his independence, including his independence from Vladimir Putin. And he's been accused by both sides, the Democrat and the Republican parties, of being too close to Vladimir Putin. It also plays into his rhetoric of developing and protecting the American industry, sort of like with this vaunted $100 billion arms sale to the Saudis that has been blocking a forceful response by Washington to the murder of this Saudi journalist a couple of weeks ago. So this is definitely, I think, a play on the eve of elections, but also it allows Vladimir Putin, the other side, to continue portraying Americans as players acting in bad faith. It justifies his increasingly militaristic rhetoric, which has been smacking increasingly of nuclear blackmail. Just the other day, at a gathering in Sochi, Vladimir Putin warned that aggressors who strike Russia will perish as sinners, while Russian martyrs will go to heaven.
Peter Zalmayev in Kiev, thank you very much.